And see, these are the 4 cards. So people born in those signs, they are the strongest. More force is in here. Force is in those signs. This is the kingly axis. This is the priestly axis. This is we being kings and priests, spirit and matter. Because Aries is krios, the judge. Criticise, critique, judge, the ram. Firmicus Maternus says the Greeks call it the ram because it judges. He judges between 12 hours of light, 12 hours of darkness. He's the judge of balance. And so is she, Venus over here in the scales of Libra. Whoops. And the scales of balance. At the middle, at the very middle, that's the start, that's the middle of the ecliptic. Balancing, you see. So this is spiritual. Fire, air, they're masculine. So this is ecclesiastical. Ptolemy says this is the ecclesiastical, religious, spiritual axis. And that's why if you think for a minute that Uranus is now in Aries and Pluto is in Capricorn, in the other, so, and there's a square going on. We can, if we get a chance, we can talk about that. But what's happening is those 2 destroyers, Uranus and Pluto, in these 2 signs, the sheep and the goats, the solstice and the equinox, the ecclesiastical and the priest, is going to actually transform and destroy what you see out there in terms of spiritual institutions and political institutions forever. Forever. Once these 7 squares are finished, I think we're in the 3rd or the 4th square. And the squares, very, very rare, long, 7 squares between planets is pretty much a record.
It's a grand square now, Persephone square, I think it's called.
Yes. And it's very destructive, and Capricorn is the political. You'll see a lot of changes here with Pluto. Last time Pluto was in Capricorn, we had 2 revolutions, the French and the American. But these people that are born here have this force. They are cardinal. They like to start things because this is where the start is. Arians love starting things and not finishing them. These guys, the mutables, they finish. The mutable signs, they finish things. You see? And these guys, like Taurus, this is fixed. They change things for the sake of not changing things. So they're steady. They're in the middle. They hang on to things. These guys start with a lot of force. They really are good leaders in the community. They're always, you can see the way they walk, these people, they're directional. The cardinal points are directional. Very strong and vital, these people. They have more energy. All things being equal, these Aries would actually be the strongest, according to Thomas H. Burgoyne. Fire, because fire is vital. And so you've got Cancer here and Libra over here. So your question was, how would you explain the difference between the cardinals and the fixed people? You see the Taurians, the earth, solid. The Leos are also fixed. Leo is fire, intense passion, fire, lion roaring. These people are, all summer. It's all about summer. They're very summery and golden. I love their energy. It's very light. It's golden. When these guys glow, they're very light. It's like it's being next to light, people emanating a golden light. These guys are silver, really silvery. I don't know whether you guys can see what I'm actually saying. I'm sure you can in your own special way, but I get silver from these people. It's beautiful, motherliness, But see, this fire is different to this fire. This is cardinal fire, and so cardinal would be, like a fire hose. You get a fire hose, and it's got a very narrow exit point here, so the water is pressured, and then it comes out really strong at the start. This would be cardinal, and then fixed would be when the water just goes around like this, and the water's still composed, that curve, but it's much more in abundance. So the fire here is much more in abundance. It's stronger. It's summer. It's midday, or midday's here, but 2 to 4 is sort of pretty much the hottest part of the day. So this is fixed, and then mutable, mutate, change. These people that would be mutable, you know, so the water's breaking up, because this is breaking up of the springtime. And so you can see it in their natures. These people are mutable, more adaptable, more flexible, more changing. Geminians can be flippant, you know, with their minds, you know, changing their mind, because it's mind, it's an air sign. Whereas Pisceans will change their emotions, you know. Two fish, mutable water. Water is emotions. Astrology is based on the ecliptic. And when you study the wave and you look at the wave, all secrets will be revealed. This is where astrology comes from. It comes from this. It comes from these energies and light and how it, you know, how it works. Of course, Arians have got, you know, so much vitality. I mean, the sun in the morning is, whew, you know, 6 to 8 in the morning. This represents 6 to 8 every morning. Aryan energy is there every morning, regardless of what sign the sun's in. All right, any more?